Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to go over the answers to Landform's transform. I'm sorry the video is a little bit late this morning. We kind of had a little bit of a home fiasco yesterday, and I was up dealing with that till pretty late. And my plan was to record this last night and post it, and that just didn't happen. So anyway, number one, where is the longest chain of barrier islands in the United States located? So you are going to underline or highlight the word longest, and then we're looking for barrier islands. And so I'm going to go back into the passage. Should be a right there answer in the passage. And I'm going to skim, and I'm looking for, this is about mountains. This is about valleys and canyons, plains, barrier island. Let's see, right here. And I'm going to highlight my answer. The longest chain of barrier islands in the United States stretches along the East Coast from New York to Florida. Then I'm going to go back to my question. Oh, right there, letter A, I see East Coast. But let's read the rest to be sure. Along the West Coast? No, cross it out. Along the border of Texas? Nope, said Florida. Cross it out. From Kansas to Kentucky? Nope, because we know it said on the coast near water. Cross it out. A is the best answer. Number two, in the title, Landform's Transform, what does the word transform help the reader know? So this entire article, when I look back at it, transform is how, if I wasn't sure what that meant and I start to read the article and I'm skimming through, since Earth's surface is constantly changing, the landforms found on Earth are also changing. And then it dawns on me, as I read about each one of these landforms, it talks about how they change over time or how they're created. So transform is how they are created. Let's see if I can find an answer, or how they change, rather. A, how they break? No. B, how landforms change? Yes. How landforms crack? No. Or D, how landforms move? No. It's how they change. B. Number three, how do the photographs help the reader understand the information in the passage? Well, when I look back at the photographs, I see one here of a volcano. And I see one here of, it's hard for me to see, y'all, from this picture, but it's either a barrier island or maybe it looks like the Grand Canyon. I think I see the mountains around it. But either way, they're both showing me photographs of actual landforms, right? So the reader can picture the fastest changes on Earth's surface. Well, both of those, if the one is a Grand Canyon, that was a change. But was it a fast change? I think I read that it took a long time over time. The reader can understand how canyons and volcanoes are formed. That shows us a picture of them, gives them a visual of what they look like. That might be the answer. Let's read the rest. The reader can visualize the results of water and heat on Earth's surface. Were both of those a visual of the result of what water can do on rock? Yeah, for the Grand Canyon. And the other one visualized the result of what the heat can do on the Earth's surface, create a volcano. And visualize gives me a keyword to let me know yes, because it's showing me. The reader can imagine how sediment is moved from place to place. Sure, it showed me in the Grand Canyon how the water has wore away the rock, but it doesn't really give me a visual or show me how the sediment moved from one spot to another. So the best choice for an answer definitely is C here. Number four, what organizational structure of the article allows the reader to understand the likeliness and differences among likenesses, sorry. It's a little bent. among landforms? Is this a cause effect? Does it tell us what causes certain landforms and what affects certain weather erosions or different weather patterns have on landforms? Sure. Does it compare different landforms? It does do that. Talks about what different landforms do. Does it give us a description of the landforms? Likenesses and differences. When I see the word, and I should have highlighted, likenesses and differences, that lets me know that I'm doing what? I'm comparing. So I'm not really describing. I mean, I am giving some key details. It's giving description, but we're talking about the entire structure of the article. First, second, third in a sequence. No, it didn't do that at all. Well, when I go back into the question, I see likenesses and differences. That's really giving me a hint that we're comparing here in this article, the differences of different landforms. Number 5, why did the author write this passage? So this is not something you're going to be able to go back into the passage for. This is kind of that persuading, informing, entertain. So did the author explain the shapes and changes of the Earth's feature? Sure did. Did the author show that landforms change slowly over time? Kind of. Some of them did, but some things happen, right away, like a volcano. It doesn't really change over time, slowly. Sometimes a volcano can happen, boom, it's been dormant for forever, and then all of a sudden it's not. To encourage people to take care of Earth. No, it didn't talk about that, but happy Earth Day. Pick up some trash today. Take care of our Earth. Plant a tree. D, to describe safety tips for earthquakes. It didn't give us any safety tips in the article. A, it explained the shapes and changes of Earth's features. Number 6, read this sentence from paragraph 10. This is one we're not going to have to go back into either because it's right here. When storms bring heavy rain to the land, water from the rain runs into rivers. What does the word heavy help the reader understand about the rain? The speed of the rain, the amount of rain, the size of the raindrops, or the weight of the raindrops? Well, I know that when I've watched the news before and they talk about heavy rain, and I've looked out my window and seen it, I know that heavy means the amount of rain. So this can be a question I can answer using my prior experiences. Number 7, which 3 details from the passage support the idea that some changes to Earth's landforms occur quickly? There are going to be 3 details, 3 things you're going to circle here. You need to underline 3 details, and they support the idea that some changes to Earth's landforms occur quickly. And this is what we talked about earlier. It wasn't over time. Some things happen quickly. So we need to pick which 3 of these things happen quickly. This narrow island forms when moving water carries sand near the shore. Is that going to happen quickly? No. After the process of weathering breaks down rocks, wind and water move the sediment. No. And anytime it's saying after the process, we know a process isn't something that really happens quickly. It happens over time. So not B. Most earthquakes are too small to feel, but larger earthquakes can leave cracks in the Earth's surface. Yep, that happens quickly. Circle C. When volcanoes erupt, rocks shoot into the air. Yep, that happens quickly too. Circle D, or make sure you have D circled. And then if the rivers cannot hold the water, they overflow and cause floods. Yes, that happens quickly. E, so then we know F is not a choice because it said to circle 3. Number 8, what is the name of the science journal? Well, that's easy. So I go back to the cover, and the name of the science journal is not the name of the article. This is the science journal name at the top, Earth Notes. This is the name of the article, but it's asking for the name of the journal, Earth Notes. So you could have highlighted that, and it's A. Number 9, which sentence gives the best conclusion about people who live near large rivers? Conclusion is what you should highlight. And we're talking about the people that live near large rivers. So when I go back to the article, I find something that the paragraph that talks about rivers. Oh, right here. Floods also rapidly changed the land. When storms bring heavy rains to land, water from the rain runs into rivers. Rivers, here we go. If the rivers cannot hold the water, they overflow and cause floods. Floods can change or create landforms. So if I lived near a river and there was a flood, I would need to have a plan of escape in case of flooding, which would be C. Number 10, which two sentences support this statement from the first paragraph? Well, this is the statement from the first paragraph, so we don't need to go back into the passage. We need to read this statement and see which two of these support that. Since Earth's surface is constantly changing, the landforms found on Earth are also changing. So the surface is constantly changing, so the landforms are changing. So now I find two sentences that support either the Earth changing, the surface of the Earth changing, or the landforms on the Earth changing. So I'm looking for two. One type of mountain forms when Earth's crust folds. Yeah, when Earth's crust folds, that would be it changing. So A would be a answer choice. B, plateaus are higher than the surrounding land and often have steep sides. No, that's just a description of what a plateau is. Number 10, C, barrier islands have long sandy beaches. No, again, that's just a description of a barrier island, giving you a detail of it. D, the weathering process breaks rock into smaller pieces called sediment. Yep, that's talking about how landforms are changing. D. So A and D were the correct answers here. Number 11, which of the following sentences is a compound sentence? It puts two sentences together into one sentence. Number 11 is A. Number 12, what is the best way to expand this sentence? That means to turn it into a compound sentence, make it bigger, longer. Floods cause damage. Where? To who? Floods cause damage. Floods cause damage to homes and buildings. And that's not a correct use of that semicolon there. Those would be two separate sentences. Floods cause damage to homes and buildings. Ding, ding, ding. And number 13, which sentence is arranged in the best order? And the answer is A. The Mississippi River is one of the largest river systems in the United States. For number 14 and 15, number 14, what happens when erosion occurs? You need to use details from the passage to support your answer. This is the biggest thing that's hard for some of you. You need to go back into the passage, find where it's talking about erosion, and pull out a detail from the passage to use in your answer to support it. Same for number 15. Why are volcanoes vents? Go back into the passage where it's talking about volcanoes and them being vents, and use details from the passage in your answer. I know some of you have already uploaded this, but if you haven't, then you will also then upload it into the spot called Landforms Transform. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. It's supposed to be nice. Get outside and play. Bye.